There are 5 SUVs you can buy right now, under $10,000, that mechanics, including me, would actually put in our own driveways. And at least 2 of them will probably outlive your mortgage. I've had over 200 used SUVs come through my shop in the past few years. I know which ones I dread seeing on the lift, and I know which ones I diagnose in 10 minutes and send home with a thumbs up. 20 years of turning wrenches will do that for you. Number 1 on this list is going to surprise you. I already know half of you are going to tell me I'm wrong in the comments, and I'm fine with that, because the data backs me up. Stick around. Today we're counting down 5 SUVs under $10,000, starting at number 5 and saving the most surprising, and the one the internet almost always gets wrong, for last. I'm also going to show you the single $550 inspection item that separates a $7,000 bargain from an $8,300 catastrophe on one of these. And number 4 on this list has a hidden engine time bomb. I'll tell you exactly how to check for it before you hand anyone a check. Number 5 Toyota Highlander, 2009 to 2012. Number 5 is the only 3-row SUV on this list, and if you have kids or you need the space, nothing else in this price range touches it for long-term value. I had a 2011 Highlander come in last spring, 162,000 miles, original owner, service records all the way back. That 3.5-liter V6 runs like it just came off the assembly line. I've seen these things push past 300,000 miles with basic maintenance. But here's what I need you to know before you buy one. There is a rubber oil supply hose on the V6 engine, the VVTi oil line, and when that hose fails, it does not leak slowly. It ruptures. And it drains every drop of engine oil in about 30 seconds while you're driving down the highway. Engine replacement on the V6? $7,500 to $8,300. I've written that estimate more times than I want to remember. The fix costs $550 to $700 at an independent shop. You replace the rubber line with an all-metal upgrade kit. That's it. Check behind the oil fill cap. If you see a rubber hose, that's your first call before anything else. If the metal line is already in there, you're fine. RepairPal puts the Highlander's average annual repair cost at $489. That's lower than most SUVs you'd pay $20,000 for today. Who should buy it? You've got 3 kids, you're keeping it for 10 years, and you want something that starts every morning without drama. Who should skip it? If you're doing mostly city driving and you can't fit a 3-row in your garage, the next cars on this list are a better fit. Mechanic's verdict: get the pre-purchase inspection, replace that oil line immediately, and this car will reward you for years. The space and reliability combo at this price is hard to beat. Alright, number 4. This one's a trap, and I don't mean that lightly. Number 4 Ford Escape 2.5L, 2014 to 2016. Number 4 is a conditional recommendation, and I mean that. The Ford Escape is everywhere. You can find clean examples under 10 grand all day long. Some of them will run 200,000 miles without drama. Others will burn your engine to the ground before 100,000 miles. Here's the deal. Ford put 2 different engines in the 2013 through 2016 Escape. The 1.6-liter EcoBoost has a design flaw where coolant intrudes into the combustion chamber, gets into the cylinders, and destroys the engine. Hydrolocks it. And Ford got hit with a class action lawsuit over it. We're talking engines failing between 55,000 and 130,000 miles with no warning. Replacement at a dealer, $6,000 to $9,600. On a car you paid $8 grand for. The 2.5-liter Duratec 4-cylinder? Different story entirely. Naturally aspirated, port-injected, timing chain, 0 turbo headaches. That engine will run 200,000 miles if you change the oil. The best year is 2015. Consumer Reports rated it above average. Here's how you tell them apart before you buy. Look at the 8th digit of the VIN. If it's the number 7, you have the 2.5-liter. You're safe. Drop a comment if you've owned an Escape. I want to know which engine you got and what your experience has been, because I hear 2 completely different stories from owners depending on which one they have. The trade-off with the 2.5L, it's front-wheel drive only, 168 horsepower. You're not towing. You're not taking it off-road. But if you want a reliable, affordable daily driver with good cargo space, this is your sleeper pick in this price range. Mechanic's verdict: VIN check first, every time. The 7th digit means to drive it home. Any other digit, walk away, no exceptions. Number 3. This is the one people always put first on their lists. I'm putting it third, and I'll explain exactly why. Number 3, Toyota RAV4, 2012 to 2013. The Toyota RAV4. Look, it earns every bit of its reputation. RepairPal gives it a 4.0 out of 5, average annual repair costs of $429, and J.D. Power has given it top marks in compact SUV dependability. The 2.5-liter 2AR FE 4-cylinder uses a timing chain, never needs a timing belt replacement, and I have seen these engines run past 300,000 miles with nothing but oil changes and filters. I had a customer bring in a 2012 RAV4 with 219,000 miles last year. Came in for a brake job. I checked the engine over while it was here, compression test, leak down test, the works. That engine had tighter tolerances than some 80,000-mile cars I've seen. The guy bought it used at 90,000 miles. 9 years later, still driving it daily. If this kind of straight talk is useful to you, hit subscribe. I put out videos like this every week, and I promise you they're not sponsored by any dealership or car brand. The most common issues I see on these: evap canister problems, $200 to $400. Oxygen sensor replacements around 150,000 miles, another $200 to $350. The intermediate steering shaft develops a clunk around 100,000 miles, $320 to $480 to fix. None of those are killers. Get the 2013 model if you can. It has a 6-speed automatic instead of the old 4-speed, and it's noticeably smoother and more durable. Stick to the 4-cylinder. Skip the V6 if you find one. More complexity, more cost, not worth it at this price point. Mechanics verdict: buy it, keep it, drive it forever. The RAV4 is the benchmark everyone compares against, and most cars don't come close. Number 2. This is the one most of you already think is number 1. You're half right. Number 2, Honda CR-V, 2012 to 2014. The Honda CR-V, 4.5 out of 5 on RepairPal, the highest reliability score in the entire compact SUV segment. Average annual repair cost, $407. That is the lowest number in this whole comparison, and it's not close. The 2.4-liter K24 engine is one of the most overbuilt 4-cylinders in production history. I've seen these documented past 370,000 miles. It uses a timing chain, no belt service ever, and the conventional 5-speed automatic in the 2012 to 2014 models is essentially bulletproof. Now, nothing is perfect. The K24 in these years has a VTC actuator that rattles for about 2 to 5 seconds on cold starts. It sounds terrible. The first time a customer hears it, they think the engine is dying. It's actually fine. It's just the variable timing actuator housing filling with oil after sitting overnight. Fix runs $300 to $600. You can drive it for years with just that rattle. There's also a known sticky AC relay issue, causes a parasitic battery drain. The relay costs $15 to $30 at any parts house. That's a $15 fix. The most important thing, stick to 2012 through 2014. The 2015 and 2016 models switch to a CVT, continuously variable transmission, and reliability goes down noticeably. You want the conventional automatic. Who should buy it? You want the lowest possible repair bills over the next 10 years. You're keeping it past 200,000 miles. You hate dealing with mechanics. Who should skip it? If you need AWD in serious snow or want 3 rows, this isn't it. The interior is practical, not exciting. The CR-V is number 2. And before I give you number 1, drop your guess in the comments right now. I want to see how many of you already know this answer. Number 1, Mazda CX-5, 2013 to 2014. Number 1. The Mazda CX-5. I already hear the CR-V defenders loading up the comments. Here's the thing. RepairPal gives the CX-5 a 4.5 out of 5, identical score to the CR-V. But the CX-5 takes the number 1 slot because it has the lowest severe repair probability in this entire comparison, 8% chance of a major repair versus 13% for the segment average. The CR-V is at about 12%. Here's why nobody talks about this car the way they should. Mazda put in a SkyActiv 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated, port-injected, timing chain. No turbocharger. No direct injection carbon buildup. No CVT. No variable cylinder management. The The 6-speed conventional automatic is one of the simplest, most reliable transmissions I've worked on at any price point. I've had maybe 40 of these come through the shop over the past few years. You know what I almost never replace on them? The transmission, the engine internals, the major stuff. You know what I do replace? Rear brake pads. They wear faster than front pads on this car, which is a bit unusual, so budget for that every 25,000 to 35,000 miles. And the liftgate struts on 2013 to 2016 models were recalled for corrosion. That's covered free under NHTSA Recall 9916H. Go look up your VIN, get it done. The $447 average annual repair cost is almost identical to the RAV4's $429. We're talking $22 a year difference. But you get a better driving car for it. The steering is more connected. The suspension is tuned like someone actually thought about it. The catch: inventory is tighter than the RAV4 and CR-V. You'll find 2013 and 2014 models under 10 grand, but you may need to search a wider radius. That's the only reason most people end up in the other two. Who should buy it? You want top-tier reliability and a car that doesn't drive like a rental appliance. You're keeping it 150,000 to 200,000 miles and want zero drama. Who should skip it? You need third-row seating. You want a big cargo area for hauling. You need AWD immediately available under $8,000. The CX-5 in this range comes at higher mileage. Mechanics verdict: the CX-5 is the best-kept secret on the used car market right now. It matches the CR-V on reliability, costs more to ignore than to own, and in 5 years you'll still be glad you bought it. So, 5 SUVs under $10,000 that I'd actually recommend you put your money into. The Highlander if you need the room and you fix that oil line first. The Escape if you verify the 2.5-liter engine through the VIN. The RAV4 for the bulletproof reputation. The CR-V for the lowest repair bills in the segment. And the Mazda CX-5 at the top, because the data says so and nobody else is saying it. You now know more about what actually lasts in this price range than 90% of people who walked onto a used car lot this weekend with a budget and a prayer. If you want to know which SUVs in this same price range you should absolutely avoid, the ones that look cheap for a reason, and the reason is a $5,000 CVT failure sitting 3 months down the road, I made that video and it's right there. Watch it before you buy anything. 20 years of shop experience talking. Like and subscribe if this saved you from a bad decision. Take it or leave it. I'll see you in the next one.